Welcome to Papyrus Plans. I'm Tasha. Ready to create something beautiful? Let's dive in. Welcome back, everyone. So today we're going to be working on my creative journal, and this is my first time using a dot grid journal, and I decided to switch from my mixed media journal that I made last year to this one just because I felt like this was going to give me a little bit more creativity, variety, flexibility to be able to do more of what I wanted to do, use different mediums, things like that, without having to make every single page from scratch. So I still have this on it, so let's go ahead and take this off. I think this slides off. Let's see. There we go. So I went ahead and mapped everything out in advance because I wanted to get an entire year out of this journal instead of what most people get is 6 months. I don't want to have multiple books for the year, so I kind of did the math in advance to kind of figure out where I should put each month. So that's what all the sticky notes are for, just to make sure that I know that I don't use a page that's supposed to be for something else. So I have the sticky notes there, and I even made a note to myself to use the 1/4" corner rounder that I have so that I know which one matches the corners here, and I tested the 3 different corner rounders I have to figure out which one that was, and I basically punched a scrap piece of paper and then matched it to the corner to see which one came the closest, and the 1/4" rounder matched it almost perfectly. So I think that's what I'll do. So let's go ahead and set up my name page. I was going to use some Happy Planner letters, but then I found these, and I think this kind of goes with my beginning theme for the year, so I think I'm going to kind of use this to kind of set the tone. They're playful, they're fun, and at first I was worried because I thought I only had 1 sheet, but I have a 2nd sheet, so I have enough to do my name. And so I'm just going to do my first name, I think. Let's see. So I think the only letter I have that I can use from this sheet is the H. So let's go ahead and get some of the letters here. Let's see, I would think I want to use the polka dot T. And let me get my ruler just so I can make sure I stay within this frame. Hopefully I can fit everything. We'll see. Thankfully my name is short. Let's see, I think I'll go with this A as the first A. And let's see, both S's are the same, so I'll just pick one. And then I'll use this H to kind of bring in a different color. And then this is the last A that I have. And since it's fancier, ooh, maybe I should use a different H since that has that curly Q too. Hold on, let me think. I might go back to this one and put this one back on the other sheet. So let's put this one back, since I have more than 1 H but only 1 A. Okay, so let's put this one down, and then let's see, you know, maybe I should, I'm just thinking, I think I'm gonna just make these haphazard. You know what I mean? So I think I'm going to add some adhesive to the, I mean, they feel pretty sticky, but just to be safe, I think I'm going to add some extra adhesive. So let me get my sticker backer. Let's see. I might just use a glue stick. Yeah, maybe I'll just do that. I just feel like because these are so playful, let's not take it too seriously. And I'm just adding glue as a safety precaution. I mean, these might be sticky enough, but because they're so thin, I just want to make sure that they do in fact stay. And if I add glue, I know they'll be permanent. And I'm not adding a huge amount, just enough to, again, to make sure it's secure. Yeah, I think because these letters are so playful, it just makes sense to kind of not put them down straight. And then that way I know I have room for all of it. Okay. I'm gonna get my bone folder and just kind of gently smooth this into the fibers of the journal. Get a napkin and just kind of dab away some of the excess glue. Okay, let's take a look. I like that. I think that's really playful. It's different than what I was actually intending, but I think it's going to go with the rest of the theme that I've selected. Okay, so that's name page done. All right, now we have this page, which is kind of this awkward page with this weird fold here. I think I'm just going to burnish the fold down just so that it lays flatter. And see, what is this? Okay, looks like that's just an imperfection in the paper. I think it might get covered, so we won't worry about that for now. Okay, so letter's done. So for my theme, I thought I was going to use I created basically a circus theme. And it'll make more sense as we go along, but that's going to be my theme for my intro pages and for the month of January. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is my year page. And I think what I'm going to do is basically make a Dutch door here, since this page is already kind of already a Dutch door because it's the way that it's attached to this glue seam right here. So since that's what I'm already working with, I figure let's just make it more prominent. So I've cut this down and I'm going to get it as close to the edge without interfering with this seam here so that it doesn't interfere with the page going back and forth. And I made it pretty close to size so that I only have to trim off about 1/8 of an inch at the top. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. This is on sticker paper, and let's see, does it cover that little weird? Okay, yeah, it covers that little imperfection, so I don't even have to worry about that. So I think let's start at the bottom instead of the top. And let me get my cutting mat just so I can see this a little bit better. Just kind of makes it easier to see the edges. And I'm going to peel back part of it again so I can get as close to the edge as possible without going too close to that inner seam. I'm just kind of smoothing it as I go. In fact, maybe I should get my craft scraper. Use a skinny one. Just kind of push it down. There we go. Okay, so I got pretty close to that inner seam. Again, I got as close as I could without going up against it. So let's cut off that small excess. And let's see. There we go. I don't think I'll need this, but just put it aside so it doesn't get stuck to anything. Oh, you know what? Let's throw this away. I think it's so skinny it doesn't want to stay. Okay, so that's the year page. And then I think I'll use my craft knife and just cut this freehand. I think it's going to be too bulky to try to fit in my paper cutter. So let me get my craft knife and let me get my longer ruler. Okay, so this is a metal ruler I like to use metal because it just makes life easier. Actually, maybe I should, before I do that, I'm thinking about this, the other side of the page. Maybe I should put this down. Okay, so this is going to be part of my Word of the Year page. So let's do that first, just in case it's slightly off. I mean, it should come pretty close, but again, just in case. Yeah, let's put this down first. Okay, again, I'm going to work from the bottom. Peel the edge up. And I'm going to get as close to the inside as I can, again, without going too close to that seam, so it doesn't interfere with it closing. There we go. Okay, that looks good. Let's see. Is that gonna... Oh, okay, you know what? It doesn't like that. I wonder if I glued it, would this part stay down? Because it's right there, or maybe I should... See, what if I burnish this with my bone folder? And I didn't even go close to the seam, but because of this glue flap... Okay, I think that's gonna work. Just to kind of get the paper used to being folded like that. Okay. If I need to add extra glue, I can, but I think that'll be okay. Okay, that looks good. All right, so now let's go ahead and cut it. And it looks pretty close. This page might be like a 1/16 of an inch shorter than this one. But we can, if I need to trim this it slightly, that's why I left a little extra edge here, just in case I need to. Just because even though it's the same size, it's hard to get everything exactly precise. Okay, so now I'm gonna do my best to hold this down. Okay, let's see how we did. Okay, yeah. Okay, so it was actually more of like 1/4 of an inch. So can I cut this without cutting the letters? Let's see, this is about right here. Ooh, that's gonna come close. Okay, I'm gonna cut it from this side so I don't accidentally cut the letters. Or numbers, rather, I should say. Okay, it's up against the 2, but okay, that's not bad. And I can just cut this little sliver. And I think I'm going to have to put some extra adhesive here because it keeps wanting to pop up. And get my bone folder. And this is pretty strong adhesive, so hopefully this stays. And just think, I didn't go all the way up to the edge. I stayed away from the spine slightly, again for that very reason. Okay, hopefully that stays. If not, I might have to gently peel that away, but I'm hoping I don't have to. Okay, so now let's go and round the corners. So let me get my corner rounder. This is the We Are Memory Keepers Crocodile Corner Chomper. And it has a 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch side. So I'm going to use the 1/4 inch side because that's the side that I tested that was closest to mimicking this. It's kind of hard for me to see from this angle, but so you basically use this as the guide and put the corner in the bottom right-hand side. If I wasn't filming, this wouldn't be so difficult, but it's kind of hard for me to see. There we go. Let me redo this one. Okay. 2 times the charm. All right, so let's take a look. Oh, I love that. That looks really good. Okay, so we have this, since it already, again, was kind of already a Dutch door, I said, let's just kind of work with it. I know some people, when I looked at some of their videos to kind of get ideas of what to do with this page, they just glued this down. But because I'm using this for an entire year, I didn't want to waste a page. So I think that's going to work, and adding the extra glue there and just kind of reinforcing this inner fold, I think it's going to help it to work. So that looks good. I really like that. All right, so this is where we're going to put the quote of the year, or word of the year, rather. Originally, I was going to do a quote, but I decided to do a word of the year. And actually, before we get to that, I just remembered I bought these brass label plates, and it has these small little holes where you can sew it onto like a leather journal or something like that. But it also comes with some adhesive sheets that you can stick it to the back of the book. So I want to add that here because that way when it's on a shelf, when I'm done journaling for the year, I can have this label here, and I think I'm going to put, 2025. That way, for example, when it's on a shelf, I can see what year this is from. So let's go ahead and do that before I forget. And I got these on Amazon, and I'll try to find the link for you guys. Let's see. I think this just pops out. Yeah. Okay. And I think I just peel. Is it this part or the other part? Okay, sorry, I've never used this before. That's kind of weird. Okay, I have 6 of these. But this part isn't the sticky part. I guess I'm kind of confused because I thought this was going to be the sticky part. Okay, I thought this part was going to be the adhesive part, but it looks like it's on here. So maybe what I'll do is just kind of press this into it. Let's see. Try my best to lay this flat and just kind of. Oh, this is hard. Why did they do it like this? Maybe I'll do it like this. I'm just trying to burnish the adhesive on there so that hopefully I can just lift it up. Is that how you're supposed to do it? Oh, okay, yeah, that's working. Whew. I feel like it would have been easier if they just made the adhesive on this. But that's me. Okay. So it's gonna have to be sideways. So I'm gonna do my best to get this equidistant. That's about right. Then just use my bone folder to push it down. And hopefully that adhesive is stronger than it looks. Sorry if I'm shaking my camera, but I'm just trying to press this in to the fibers of the journal. Oh, okay, yeah, that's on there pretty strong. Okay. Let's see. I'm not sure how long the curing time is. I don't know if it says. Yeah, it doesn't say, but I'm guessing a day would make it safe, just to be on the safe side. Wait a day before, trying to do anything crazy with this. I'm just going to tuck a sheet of paper in here. I was thinking about just ripping this off and cutting this down to size, since it's already kind of the right size. I might do that. Or I have this other piece of scrap here. Let's see if this fits. Let's see what looks better. Gotta cut it down. That's a really small sheet of paper. Actually, let's use this as a guide. Okay, trying to decide which color I like. This is kind of like a ivory tone, or this kind of craft brown tone. Actually, I kind of like the contrast of this, so I think I might use this. And let's see, it stops right about there. Just gonna do this freehand and just kind of keep tweaking it until it fits. And let's see, maybe make a little notch here. This is my, I think, EK Success punch. I'm just gonna go maybe about 1/3 of the way down. Kind of make it easier to come out. Okay, I need to cut a little bit more. So maybe about 1/4 of an inch. This is such a small sheet of paper, it's kind of hard to do this, but I'm just gonna play around with the boy, that is small. Okay, that's actually, that's so small I can barely get it out, but I can. Alright. Now, let's see if I have numbers small enough. I might have to just write this by hand. I don't know if I have numbers that are small enough to fit in there. Well, these are kind of small. Let's see, I think I want to do just black. Do I have 2025? I do. As small as these are, they may not be small enough. Let's see if I can fit these. Let's see, let me get my tweezers. I think I'm gonna start with the top number and the last number and put this as far up as I can get it without it not being seen. Come on, stay. There we go. Okay, now let's get the 5. And hopefully the other 0 and 2 fits. Oh yeah, I think there's gonna be enough space. Okay. These are just small enough. I kind of guesstimated the spacing, but I think it's gonna come out just right. And I'm just kind of using my bone folder to press the letters down because it's so small. All right. So that was out of my Happy Planner, let's see, what is it called? Alphabets and Numbers, I think. Yeah. Okay, that's not too bad. It's gonna be hard to get this out, but I can kind of use my finger to slide it out. I just want to press it down. There we go. All right, so that's what's gonna look like when it's on the shelf. I'll be able to see the year right there. Okay, let me clean up some of these scraps. And I still have 5 of these left. So you get it's a pack of 6, and these again are brass label plates. So you can use this for anything that you want, but I bought this specifically for my journal because I thought it would be skinny enough to put on the side and fit the spine of the journal. Okay, so let's set this aside. All right, so now let's go back to this. So we got the name page, we have the year, and then we have word of the year here. Okay, so now let's put my actual word of the year, and then we can talk about it. So this year I decided to choose the word balance, and my reason for that is I started my own company in 2024, and I was putting in such crazy hours, and if you're an entrepreneur, then you know that that's kind of goes with the territory. You know, it's kind of the nature of the beast, right? But it's like, you know, when you're working so hard, sometimes it's easy to forget anything else when you're trying to accomplish certain things. And so this year, I chose the word balance because I want to have it to be a constant reminder for me of, hey, are you balancing things? And that doesn't mean that I may not work long hours, but it just means that I try to remind myself, for example, to be more intentional about my self-care, to take time to rest, to do things that are going to be good for me and healthy for me, in spite of the fact that I may have to work long hours. So that's kind of my perspective of it. Because I know some people are like, well, yeah, balance means, you know, never having to do that. No, it doesn't. Balance means balance, right? It means having some sort of equilibrium between all of your responsibilities. And sometimes that means you might have to rest more. Sometimes that means you may have to work more, but also doing the things that are necessary so that you have a healthy lifestyle and you have that, again, that equilibrium in spite of your tasks and responsibilities. So this is the page that I created for this. And I did this digitally just because it's easier for me, and I kind of had all the letters stacked up. But one of the things I thought I was going to do is to have this flat, but then to give it some dimension is maybe add some foam squares on different elements here, again, to kind of make them stand out. So let's go ahead and put this down. And again, I want to get it as close to the spine as possible without actually touching it, because again, I don't want it to hinder the page from being flipped to the left or the right. So it's slightly more than what I need, but again, I did that on purpose so that I have a bit of wiggle room when I'm putting this down. Okay, so it should be just enough, and then I can trim the top and the right if necessary. If I can get this corner. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing as before, peel it up, but not all the way. And again, get as close to the bottom and the left as I can without hindering the page from flipping. So I'm shooting for leaving myself about 1/8 of an inch just to be safe. Okay. All right, so now once I have that down, then I can use, again, my craft scraper. And I'm just gonna slowly peel this and smooth it at the same time. Okay. All right, there we go. So now let's just cut this excess. Maybe I'll use my craft knife. I don't know if I'll need this, but I'll save it. And I cut the page slightly, but just a little. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut the rest of it since I already did. Like it's just a little sliver. Okay, now let's, I went over slightly on this side. It's really hard to see, but since the back of the sticker paper is white, just a hair over. kind of using the edge of the scissors to find the small pieces of the sticker paper. And then we'll go back in, around the corners. Let's see, is this a 1/4 inch? Yeah, 1/4 inch side. Okay. Oh, I love that. Just clean up this one edge. Oh, that looks good. I really love that. Okay, so we have the name page, we have the year, we have my word of the year here, and I might even use the margins to kind of write in why I chose this word. So now this is going to be the January cover page, but let me go ahead and let me find some foam squares, and that way I can raise up the different elements here. So I'll do that. Okay, so I have these different size foam squares. I think I'm gonna stick with the small ones because I have these really large ones, but I think these are gonna be plenty big enough because I don't want them to be too big. Okay, so let's go through the different elements. So I have the elephant, right there. And then I have, let's see, him. And then this guy right here. So I think I'm gonna kind of raise them up and see how it looks. And if I don't like it, I can always peel it up. Oh, I just realized, did I print this on? I think I printed this on sticker paper. I did, okay, hold on. How should I do this? I meant to print this on cardstock, and I think I was in sticker paper mode. Okay, so I either ditch this idea or I put it on paper that's thin enough so it's not going to add too much bulk and then put it on. Okay, let me go figure out what kind of paper I want to put this on and see how it looks and see whether or not I like it. I think I might use maybe some black paper just so it gives it a bit of shadow, so when I cut around it, it stands out a little bit, but let's see. All right, so I have all these black paper scraps from projects. So I'm gonna let's start with the elephant. And I think what I'm gonna do is fussy cut around it and then see how I like it. I think I was in sticker mode, making mode when I was doing this, and I forgot that I was supposed to print this on cardstock or even just printer paper because I didn't want it to add any bulk to my planner. But I don't want to have to reprint this because all these stickers took forever to design, so I don't want to have to stop and go back on my computer and pull that up. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Just gonna round the edges of this ball a little bit better. Okay, I mean, it's not bad. You kind of can't tell. Just gonna try to cut away some of the white. I mean, I only have 3 pieces that I would have to do this for. Let's put the little foam square on and see how thick it is. I think that's gonna help me decide. So let's maybe use 2 or 3. One at the top, one at the bottom, and maybe one in the middle. going to use my craft knife to peel up this edge. Okay, so let's put him down. Oops, hold on. Is he slightly smaller? I think he is. See, it just gives it a little bit of dimension. Let's see, how does it close? Oh, okay. It's pretty flat. I think I might do that. Since it's only these 3 pieces, it just kind of helps it to stand out a little bit more. And I like the effect. Okay. So this would have been easier if I had printed this on cardstock like I thought I did. Or even just printer paper. But we're going to work with what we got. I think it'll be okay. It's a little bit of extra work, but I like the dimension that it creates. And I'm just going to cut off some of the offset of the sticker. So fine if a little bit of white shows, but just so that it's not so much white. Okay. Alright, so that's what it's looking like. I mean, it's really subtle, but I like the dimension that it gives. So that looks kind of cool. I like that. Alright, so this is what we have so far. So we have the year on the spine, name page, the year, Dutch door, word of the year, my actual word, and again, I think I'll journal in the margins here about why I chose this word and what it means to me. And then it goes into January. So that's my setup for my 2025 dot grit journal. And in the next video for my journal, I'll be actually setting up January. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, stay inspired and thank you for watching.